I'm not really a Joe Rogan guy. I never sat down no longer than 2 to 3 minutes and listened to anything that he said because I always thought he was one of them folks that just talked about just any and everything and shit don't be making sense. I think he's a plant, so to speak, somebody who just uses his platform to paint pictures however his endorsers see fit. So essentially, he just fucking lying to everybody. And this is why I say that.
You need people like me. You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers.
That lady that got fired from Equinox in Manhattan, she was late 47 times in 10 months, and she sued because of race. She said she got fired for racism, and she won.
She won.
It's a jury, and she won $11 million.
Context matters. Joe Rogan is deliberately telling the story out of context to push a narrative that black people falsely claim racism, and we get some type of black privilege from it. The truth is, she was able to prove that Equinox had a hostile work environment where she told HR about their racism and she told HR about their sexual inappropriate behavior, and nothing was done about it. And when she was fired for quote unquote being late, she was also able to prove that her white coworkers were late more often than she was, and they were never punished for it. That's why she won the lawsuit, because of that, not because you were late and you claim racism and then you won. That's telling the story out of context to push a narrative.
You hear about that lady that got fired?
That shit right there really be pissing me off. Look, there's people out here that's doing whatever is necessary to make money, man. They'll fucking say they slipped in the field and there be cameras dead right on them, watching them stage the whole fall and all that. I've seen and been around people who will sit there and tell you, look, man, here's the plan. We're going to do this. I ain't saying no names, but people do that shit. I get it. But when it comes to the job, what are we talking about, really? Racism exists, bruh. What I have an issue here with is you spoke on this story. You didn't go into full details about what happened, how she came about winning this case, because nobody is just going to up and award somebody fucking $11 million off of a false claim. But then again, we live in a world where you can say that a guy did something to you. He didn't really do shit to you, but because you're a woman, they'll believe you. So take that with a grain of salt. But with Joe Rogan, my problem here is you didn't really break down the story. You didn't go into full detail and give context with how she came about that wealth. Why wouldn't you just, matter of fact, you got a big ass platform, you reach hundreds and thousands of people. Why didn't you reach out to her, see if she might want to talk about it? She would come and holler at you before she comes speak to somebody like me. Why didn't you do that? You didn't do that. Why? Because you want to make it look like it's some shit that it isn't. Everybody is not moving grimy like that. I done got injured on the job. I done been in spaces where I probably could have had lawsuits and I could have did the same shit. I didn't do it. Some people could do it and they don't. Stop doing that shit, bro. Because this ain't the first time. Have a sit down with the actual individuals that you're speaking on. And then another thing we gotta add, y'all chop and clip up portions of a segment, not giving the whole thing, and then it come off as if it's something that it ain't. Maybe he actually did speak on this shit. Then all we're seeing is that part, and you just took this portion of it to make it look like that he's putting out false information, or he's trying to create some shit out of thin air. That's something else that's corny. No, you know what you could have done? You could have linked us to the actual conversation that he had about this. So then we could actually see for ourselves if he was trying to paint a narrative and make it look like she was faking being wrongfully accused of things and she was being targeted. That's what you could have done. Give us the source. So I'm torn. He does do stuff like this, but you got to really know that for yourself. You got to literally stare and watch and then do your own research to figure out if he's really giving the full scope of what's going on or not. You don't think people get harassed on the job? You don't think racism exists? All right. Keep playing around with this false information.
It's